Yo, what is going on, gamers, and welcome to the channel. Hey, in this video I'm going to break down my advice and tips for those who are trying to get more wins in the solo playlist in Realm Royale, a new battle royale with fantasy RPG undertones that's currently in alpha. Now, the first thing you'll need to do is select a landing zone. Pretty typical of any BR, but bear in mind that Realm Royale was designed to greatly reward those who win fights throughout the match. So it is nearly impossible for passive edgelords to win matches consistently in Realm Royale. So right off the bat, you're going to want to pick a landing zone that is close to a forge, because your number one priority is to secure a chicken trophy from eliminating another player and acquiring shards to craft your class weapon and a yellow rarity armor piece at least in your initial forge area. So stage one of winning Realm Royale matches is win your forge area, forge your crap, and roll out. So remember that when you land, you don't want to over loot right off the bat. You need to find a weapon and maybe a couple of potions and then go push someone. So when you land, listen for the loud thuds of other players hitting the ground in your area. Take note of which directions those thuds come from. Grab your gun and go hunting. You don't want to give them too much time to gear up, and you also don't want them to get away. A lot of players will run away from fights in the early game, but you need that chicken trophy, and that loser has it, so you need to go get it. So once you win your landing zone, you really want to craft at least your class weapon and one armor piece. Sometimes if the zone is kind enough to you, you can have time to loot the surrounding area and then come back and forge a class ability and some potions depending on your needs. Now, 2 points that I want to make. After you win your landing zone, you want to push further into the zone and select another forge location to push to. You want to find other players. So look for smoke coming out of the roof of those forges as you push them. If there's smoke, then that means someone's already crafting something there in that forge. That's a good thing. You need to eliminate players to win matches. So winning comes down to who has the most high-level gear 9 out of 10 times. So at this point, you likely have just one yellow rarity armor piece. If you kill another player at your second forge, they often have at least one high-level armor piece as well. So you take theirs and then you craft another one, because you can only craft one armor piece per forge, so you can't do it at the one you landed at. Now you got to do it at this second location. So now you have 2 to 3 yellow rarity armor pieces and probably some killer weapons. And the second important point that I want to make is that abilities win games. So take the time to forge a second legendary class ability while you're there if you have time, or whether it's your first. At the beginning of the match in this video, I had a white rarity fireball for my mage that hit for 450 damage, and it cooled down in 10 seconds. But at the end of this gameplay, I have a legendary fireball that hits for 900 damage around corners and cools down in 3 seconds. So that's an actual crap ton of DPS more during a fight. So craft those abilities if you can. You need to alternate abilities with gunfire in the end game in order to win matches consistently. And as a side note, I actually mapped my 2 abilities to the 2 buttons on the left side of my mouse where my thumb sits. This way I can use both of them on command in any scenario without sacrificing my mobility, since I don't have to take my fingers off the ASDW buttons in order to activate those abilities. It's all nice and fluid. Now, the end game is important. Many players end up losing because they fall into the trap of playing too slow and too passive in the end game. They think, oh, I'm having a good match. I'm in the top 10. I can't be reckless and choke this away, so they play too passive. Now, you need 3 to 4 legendary armor pieces, and you need to eliminate players to get them. So otherwise, the 2 or 3 people top fragging in the lobby will crap all over you if you don't have the armor to hang with them. So waiting too long is risky for another reason too. If you play too passive, you're running a huge risk of allowing the circle to get smaller and force you and multiple players into closer proximity with one another. And that means that you're very, very likely to get jumped mid-fight by another player, since the circle is so small and you let it get that way without eliminating players along the way. So it's best, I like to spiral from the outside of the map around and in. be it clockwise or counterclockwise depending on the terrain. Eliminating the edge lords that I find along the way. You have to allow yourself room to fight these players, so don't let that circle close in too much or you're gonna get heckin' pinched. And pounce on active gunfights out there that you hear. Don't let people get kills and loot up and heal up. You got to get them while they're hurt. So if you hear an active fight, feel free to hop on in that, get some high ground, overlook it, see who's winning that fight. Just kind of make an educated decision. Okay, this guy looks like his back's against the wall. This guy has him sort of pinned in there. So I'm assuming the guy that has him pinned in has more health, would be my guess. And he's probably the better player. So that's the guy I should probably eliminate first while I'm here, you know, looking at this fight. So pick off the guy you think looks like the better player. Pick him off first while he's not looking at you, while he's focused on the other dude, right? Eventually, you should be the lootiest loot monster out there in the top 3 situation where you're the big bad monster bullying the other 2. So remember to use your mobility options and abilities to reposition as needed. You don't want to get in too close to a warrior or an engineer that's all looted up with axes and plasma launchers. You definitely give yourself some room to work with, unless you're a brawler character like that. And if that's the case, then close those gaps and don't forget to use those healing abilities when you break line of sight as you're popping in and out of cover, picking on the other players. So I hope you found this video helpful and useful. Feel free to check out the channel for more Realm Royale content along the way. And I hope to catch you out there on the battlefield. Laters. There it is, chat. Let's go. Let's go.